I don't think I've got a true, honest memory of the very first crime I have committed, but I have committed misdemeanours all day, every day, all of my life. The reason you become a criminal is because you want more than everyone else. You want more than you're going to earn by flipping burgers in McDonald's for £250 a week. You want more than that. And for whatever chosen field of crime you choose, the reason for doing it is you want bigger, better, newer, nicer. And all my life I've wanted the best of everything. You know? I wanted the nicest car, the prettiest lady, the nicest clothes, the nicest house. And I would not be able to get all the things I want working from 9 to 5. So I have gone out of my way to get them whatever way I could, and the authorities would call it crime. I would just try and look at it as getting my way.
Get to tell my mates all the rotten smother and all.
And he then went on to make a documentary about different kinds of men. It was called From Wimps to Warriors. And I was going to do a documentary on a man preparing to go to prison, which was myself. I had 7 witnesses. I was at the Old Bailey and I was in trouble. And they asked me whether they could do a documentary on a man preparing to go to prison, giving up his empire, saying goodbye to his children and all that. So me being the flamboyant type, I took that on and showed him exactly what it was all about.
All right, don't fucking say nothing, right? No one say nothing. How many people in here? How many people in here? You're out of here today. Start packing your gear up, right? I'm going to give you one chance, right? One chance to not get hurt, okay? Right? You're going to leave in there. Someone's been... Shut up, darling! Someone's been allocated the house, all right? And they're going to move in here next week. They can't because you're in it, so you can leave now. How many up there, Neil? 2. Get them down. Get your stuff together, mate, and fucking get out. All right? I'm coming back next week. All right? I'm going to come back in next week, make sure you ain't here. If you're here, I'll fucking break you in half, all right? All right? Yeah.
Who am I to ask you why?
I sold myself to the media because I knew that they was finding whatever I had to say interesting. And I found that the trick I learned, as long as I told the truth all the time, everyone was really, really chuffed to bits. I didn't try and sort of glorify myself, like big me up, I'm the best fighter, the best shot, I'm the richest, I've done Brinks Mat, I've done more in prison, you know. I just told you how it really, really is. And the general public are genuinely interested in the workings of a naughty man, right? You know, because they find an awful lot of similarities to their own life, and they're not so far away from being naughty themselves.
Move on to another dawn.
Ronnie knew who I was because of the large security company that I had, and we spoke a couple of times by mail when he wanted certain things done and certain things undone, and he knew that I had the manpower to do so. So I'd actually worked for him while he was inside before I actually met him. When I met him, we struck up a very instant rapport, and from then on I was considered a cray man. In Italy it would be the boss of mafiosa, right? The Cray twins in England are the top mafiosa in Italy.
Take it down!
London was divided by the Thames, North London and South London. There was a very, very big divide, and you didn't get on with each other purely because you lived on the other side of London. And there was the Cray twins, and there was the Richardsons. There was also the individual stars of the gangster world. There was the Frankie Frasers, the Tony Lambrianos, the Freddie Foremans, the Charlie Richardsons, the Joey Piles. You know, these are all actual superstars in the gangster world as individuals, and all had their own firm that was very well respected. But people say that since that era has gone away, crime has risen. Well, in this country, there is a very...
I could conform for a moment. I played your flesh.
When Ronnie Cray was buried, it was the biggest funeral in this country since Sir Winston Churchill. There was 750,000 people, and down to the government's spitefulness, they actually turned him into a martyr themselves, right? You know, for actually giving someone 30-odd years for the crime that he committed was a little bit barbaric. It was used as a deterrent to stop people going that way. because it was so big, the police were getting involved with the security, and I had to get involved in the security as well. And I put my cards on the table from the first meeting with Sir Paul Condon, and I said, you know, these are not pop fans, right? These are gangsters, would-be gangsters, retired gangsters, or whatever, and they would not normally cross the street to ask you the time. And if the church only holds 200 people, and there's 750,000 out there, do you know who to go no to and who to say come in? Do you know who to let come into the coffin and kiss one on his forehead? Do you know who to go no to? Who stands around the actual hole and who stands outside the cemetery? And if that some young, spotty, 21-year-old ginger policeman was sitting there saying no to someone that should come in, right, there was going to be an awful lot of trouble, and they should know that. So I said to them that in a very cocky manner, which is bestowed of me, I said to them that you know, all I want you to do is stay on the side of on the curb and hold the crowd back, and I will do absolutely everything else security-wise. He said, there might be a sniper attempt. Not everyone is a Cray Twin fan, and if anyone wanted to get some revenge on Reggie Cray, they couldn't for the last 30 years because he's been in prison. Now he's going to be driving 20 miles at 10 miles an hour, and there could be a sniper attempt. He said, and the one thing that we have got, which your little band of men haven't, he said, is firearms. I said, wait a minute. I said, the only thing that you've got that I haven't got is firearm certificates. We've all got a fucking gun. You know what I mean? What are you talking about, man? All right, that would lock me up and then let me out in the morning for causing a disturbance, or a Glaswegian and a geezer from Newcastle with a dodgy-looking lump in his crombie, right, that's 6'2" and a flat nose. Right, I know which one would stop me doing it. Right, he's going to lock me up for a night and let me out in the morning, and he's going to pull my arms and legs off and hit me with a soggy end. They just sort of picked out individual superstars, and I got 5 or 6 from Glasgow, 5 or 6 from Leeds, 5 or 6 from Margate, 5 or 6 from Newcastle, 5 or 6 from Liverpool, 20 from London. I've got to be honest, on the morning that I was having a little conflab in a pub and chatting with, and I was looking at what I had assembled, I wanted to fucking invade Poland. You know what I mean? I wanted to, like, straight on, we're going for world domination. Then Disneyland.
Mr. Landlord, I can't take the pressure out your yard.
I wanted to be an ex-gangster. I didn't know that. I wanted to be one of the ones that drove around all flash with the big nice house and the fancy clothes and the nice gold and the big car. But you can't actually do that if you've got any brains, if you're still active, because you will bring the authorities down on you, you will bring attention to yourself. So, you know, you go into crime to get bigger, better, newer, nicer. And as soon as you get the money to get these things, then someone says to you, well, you better buy a little Mondeo, keep a low-key car, you know, you can't buy the fur coat, you can't have the Rolex. Right, and if I wanted to keep the low-key car and drive a Mondeo, I would have carried on being a fucking milkman. Right, I wanted the Rolls Royce, that's why I chose to put my Libby at risk to get that money, because I wanted the bigger, nicer things. I wrote a book. The more the papers write about me, the more the book sells. So, you know, it actually backfired. They shot themselves in the foot. And I decided that, seeing as they was going to be taking lots of photographs of me anyway, that I was not going to go and live down a little alley in the country and drive a little mini metro and wear brown tweed suits, right? Because they would not look at me any less if that's what I'd done. So seeing as I can't make them look at me any less, I might as well give them a little show. All right? So I then set about kicking back. Right? I kick back hard. I've actually been 30 years their junior. I'm talking about the Premier Division celebrity gangsters in this country. They have had 60 years of going, no comment, no pictures, no comment, no pictures, right? And all of a sudden, the last thing they do in their life, their last big payday, their retirement, their gold watch, is they write a book. You have to use the media. You have to get on television and say in your own words, this is what we are, this is what we do. Right, this is what I'm about. You know, you cannot leave it to someone else to actually portray it for you. And maybe it's because my face fits, or like I say, I am 30 years the junior. I definitely haven't done the same amount of bird, but my face fits at the moment, and I am the voice piece for the London crime scene, and I find it an honour, although sometimes a burden, because you have to live by a very strict set of rules, which is a pain in the arse. The press was my enemy, so I learnt that, and I learnt how to play that. But you do get kicks up the bollocks sometimes, i.e. I got so much good press after the Craig Twin funeral. You know, there was fashion things about my clothes, there was, you know, the England's answer to John Gotti, you know, this Dave Courtney character has come out from nowhere and just stood there blatantly on television all around the world with his army and gone, bow. Their main problem now where Dave Courtney is concerned is my popularity. And to put me in prison would be counterproductive for them now, because they would end up with another martyr, and they do not need that. So they just need to, everyone stop going, Dave, Dave, Dave. You know, I was running for fucking mayor, for Christ's sake. The very next week, where I took all the boys that done the funeral with me to Tenerife, which was quite an experience in itself. 150 geezers in Tenerife was funny. I'm on the beach and I've got a hole in the sand with a bottle of champagne in it and a thing, and I'm reading the News of the World, and it said, Reggie Craig calls an emergency meeting with all the heads of the London crime scene, because it is now found out that Dave Courtney was snorting cocaine off the coffin lid. So I'm like sitting in, I was all nice and tanned and brown, I'm reading the paper and I go, no, truly, I just could not get my head around that one. And I don't think ever before anyone's ever rung a prisoner and said, I need to speak to Reggie Craig. You know, you cannot do that. They have to ring you, and it's a very hard process to get to the phone in prison. But from Tenerife, I actually rung Maidstone Prison, and they put me through to Ronnie Craig because they knew the importance of all of it. And he said to me, he said, listen, he went, in the 30 years that I've been in this prison, he said, I've had some of the most ridiculous things written about me that you could possibly imagine. He said, I'm only hoping that the general public out there, because I have lost a bit of touch, don't believe the sort of shit that they read. He said, and I don't believe that. Right? But Reggie knew that, but the rest of the world now think that, well, I'm living on borrowed time because Reggie's going to kill me.
We're living for the future, living for the future.
People do not get addicted to being a criminal, right? You get addicted to the way of life, okay? You get addicted to the way of life, and it's not nice that having that any morning at 6 o'clock they could kick your door down feeling, right? And if you've got used to living on £5 a week, criminal-wise, you cannot, because it's a force of habit, jack in a job that gives you £5 a week and then go and work for fucking 5 days a week and earn £350. Your mind won't let you. You can't do it, but you long to give up, but you know you can't, because there's no other way to earn that amount of money. And the only way you can retire from crime is if you find something legal that gives you the same money as you was earning as a criminal. And in the celebrity world, I have. So it's very easy for me to go, adios amigo. Right? You know, goodbye prisons, hello Hollywood.